But in this video, I wanted to look at Noiseless AI. So this is an extension to Luminar Neo, and similar to other extensions, if you click on the jigsaw piece, you can then load up what extensions are available. In this case, we'll be looking at Noiseless AI, which is a noise reduction extension. So as the name implies, it's really about noise removal and trying to maintain the detail without just stripping it all away to remove the noise. So that's really what Noiseless AI is about. Now, I've got a couple of images here of some birds of prey that I've taken, and I'm going to look at these images through Noiseless AI. Now, up the top here, you can see the actual ISO on these is quite high. So 5,000, 6,400, 6,400, 6,400. And the reason the ISO is so high is basically because I'm such a long focal length that I've had to bump the ISO up a lot to try and make sure that the shutter speeds are appropriate for birds in case they fly, all of those sorts of things. Now, obviously that means that the higher the ISO, the more the noise. And if I just go into edit on one of these, and I'll use Enhance AI just to bring up the color, you can see a lot of the noise. It is quite significant, especially if I zoom in on the bird. You can see there is so much noise in this. Now, I'd rather deal with the noise than not take the photo at all. And that's where Noiseless AI comes in. So this shows up in the edit section under extensions, and it says Noiseless AI. So if I click on that, it will then open up the Noiseless AI window, and it will give advice on what settings maybe I should use. So it says, please use the high adjustment for this image. I'll click on high, and it will now start to process that image. And what it's doing in the background is that it's using AI to work out what is noise, what is detail, and trying to make a judgment on how to remove the noise without actually sacrificing the detail itself. So a lot of tools that exist for noise reduction tend to be pretty broad brush. They sacrifice sharpness in terms of reducing noise, whereas this is trying to avoid doing that. So I tend to prefer these tools more than others because, as I said, it does lead to retaining a little bit more detail than the alternative. So I am zoomed in a fair way. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. And what you can see is there is a lot of noise that has been reduced out of this photo, a significant amount of noise compared to what it was before. Now, if I press this, that's what it was before. That's what it is now. Now, some of that is because of Enhance AI. So if I turn... you can sort of see the detail. I'll zoom into the bird again. So before, you can see a lot of the noise, especially around the face of the bird. After, you can see it has reduced the noise a fair amount. So let's look at some other photos. In this case, I've got another bird here. And if I zoom into the face, again, you can see the noise around the bird. So I'm just going to go into edit. Going to go into noiseless, and I'm going to use the high adjustment, and I'll let that run, and we'll see how it affects the image. Now, it is worth noting that two things. One, it's doing this on a raw image, so there is a little bit more detail for it to go into. And two, and probably more importantly, I am recording on my computer the same time I do this, so I suspect that probably affects performance a little bit. I have found it on my computer, which is certainly not an old computer, to be a little bit on the slow side, but in the scheme of things, it's certainly not terrible, especially considering, like I said, I'm recording and doing other things at the same time. So, you know, it is what it is. So I'll zoom out just to make it a little bit better. Yep. So I've zoomed out. That was the noise before. That's what it is after. Now, clearly this isn't the sharpest of photos, so, you know, bear that in mind, that it's not sacrificing a lot of detail because the photo itself isn't that sharp to start off with. If I increase the structure AI, it will increase the sharpness a little bit, and there are a whole range of other things that I could do to try and improve that. But in this case, I'm not so worried about that because I just wanted to show the noise. Now, what I'll do is I'll go into one last bird photo, which is this one here. And this is a little bit of a harder photo to sort of show because it's white on a near white background, but you can see around the eyes a bit of noise. You can see a bit of noise around this back top right section as well. So again, I'll go into edit, I'll go into Noiseless AI, and this time it's saying use the middle adjustment instead of the high adjustment. So I'm going to let this work. It's going to, same as before, try and calculate what it should remove, what it shouldn't, and it's then going to present that image. Now, in all of these examples, I've really looked at using default settings. So I just click on low, medium or high, low, middle or high, sorry, and then I just let it run. But there are some more controls, so you can adjust the luminosity denoise, color denoise, details or sharpness as well. So you do have some more options that you can use to adjust those if you think that it needs a little bit more on one aspect or potentially a little bit less on another. So I'll zoom out just a little bit more. That's probably good there. And if I click on the eye, that was before, that's after. So you can see, especially around the eye, I might actually zoom into that eye a little bit more. That's before, that's after. So you can see it has made a pretty significant difference. And again, I am zoomed in a lot on this photo. So, you know, it is a little bit of pixel peeping, but I think it gives you an idea. Before, after. As I said, I can certainly adjust the aspect of these if I need to. So maybe I want to try more detail, more sharpness or something else. A general rule with any of these though is don't go to 100%. Because generally, unless you need to, it's going to probably not look great, if I'm honest. So, you know, I find the defaults do work pretty well. And I think this is certainly a useful tool for Luminar Neo in terms of being able to address noise in your images. I hope this has been useful. I'll put a link in the description below if you're after more information on Noiseless AI, the extension to Luminar Neo. And until next time, thanks for watching.
Find out what it means, always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.